Good evening to you all. Oh, good evening to you all. Wow. Once again, you are welcome to the Lifeline. I hope you are happy to be here. Are you sure? Are you sure? Then let me see your shouting. Once again, good evening. You are all welcome once again to the Lifeline. Today, it's going to be fire. Say fire. Fire. Oja. Ojani Shiwa. Ojani Shiwa. So before we go into today's topic, first I want to acknowledge the Church Pastoral Council and the Church Youth Council for helping us with this program. Let's clap for them. They are doing very well. Also, let's give it up for our priest in charge, Father Hilary. I thought we'll do it better for Father Hilary. A louder one. Then also to Bakita Media for all the technical work they have been doing. Let's give it up for them. And to our main sponsor, Sabama, that is the St. Bakita Mashalan Association. Let's clap for them too for sponsoring. We are live on Facebook and on YouTube, St. Bakita Catholic Church, Lashibi. If you want to join us via WhatsApp, the numbers are 055 1733 733. I take it again, 055 173 3733. The Lifeline, let's live our best days together. Yes, we are going to live it together today. Okay, so how many of us remember this song? Or they see me, or da me. Or if you can sing, join me. Or they, I can't hear. Abna Rosie, Samika can say Yara, Nyawa Yemya. Me say, or they see me, or da me, or they did you. Come on, let's go. So if your Odo see you, will you leave him or her? Oh no. Those who stay, hands up. Those who leave, hands up. So what about those of you who have also been singing this song? Osobroche fansabe womeni, odonti mi wenyeshi. No, so which of them do you prefer? Pardon? Then this one, good. Usuba enyenso impero Sarah. But if people say when your dose see you too, you will leave. And now you leave. Madam, please, if your dose see you and Dada, will you leave?
I'll leave sharply.
But you are the same person singing or don't you wear nyeshe?
Levels womb.
A trawa oveko.
Aye, sharply.
Hey, Charlie. Please, or don't see what oveko?
It depends on the level of CCC.
See the CCC or CCC.
Even more to say, you know, even there are sins that are forgiven, and there are some that you can forgive, and you will not forget. See, it's not levels. The levels will determine whether you live or stay.
Come on. Today, dear, the fire. Boss, or those CCC were wearing there.
Not the Messiah woman.
Chairman, are you sure?
Oh, I'm very, very sure.
Okay. Let's give it up for him. Let's give it up for him. I normally don't do this alone. I'm here again with my co-host, Andrina, and then Father Tony. But they will join us later. But for now, let's move back to DJ Free.
Mix by mix. 40 minutes of non-stop mixing.
You know the best. Now tell me for you know the answer. Why you say you know they need me? Why you treat me like a stranger? Why when I'm in love with you? See, I don't want nobody. I don't want nobody. Man, I don't want nobody. I love the things you do. Man, I don't want nobody. I don't want nobody. See, I don't want nobody. And I don't wanna ever get without. Oh, dumb me down, tears in my bottle. Oh, baby boy, you know you got the juice, you got the fire, fire, fire. See, one man's meat is another man's poison. To all the people we do you wrong, oh, they let me straight to you. So I wonder if you think that I could leave you. So and now we'll do it here, boy, I'm here to stay. No, if I leave, make them never, fire, fire, fire. Maybe if I leave, make them never. I go by the name of that's not fire, fire, fire. See, I go fight for you. I could go war for you. I could get up on my voice for you.
Baby, do them some I feel. I said I'll see you feel, man. Said I'll deal with the man, you're my shaman, him down south if I knew. I deal with the yummy, the other meeting, so I'm a few more. You're too sexy, you're too bad, you're too dirty. Oh, but that is a good thing. It doesn't matter, I would tell you. You really said, yeah, it doesn't matter if you're not. Me really said, the body is yours, and I know you'll be. Chop, chop, chop. Obi I got on clear, baby I know you'll be. Chop, chop, chop. Obi I the top, Obi I the top, baby I know you'll be. Chop, chop, chop. Her name says yeah, that's what I was saying, very naturally. Waiting for the answer to get think it's so perfect. No one else is going to be body on cha-cha-cha. So don't want you to be trying to want to cause and go. The pacho papere pecho machine me shame. I don't hear you say, I don't hear you say you dead with another man. Your body rotate, you know will I come if I see you with another man? I don't wanna hear you say, I don't wanna hear you say you're there with another man. Where your body rotates, I don't wanna see you with nobody, 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 no. Oh yeah, I wanna see you with nobody, 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 no. Baby, just your body, know me, yeah. Things that you can find, you know that guy. You gotta be blondie, yeah. Feel the sun, yeah. Anywhere we gotta look at. Not only you, I want, I swear, I'm on my life. If that boy got to my head, say, make I deny you. I could tell them, say, lie. Don't lie, yeah. I fit to spend all of my money on you. Spend a couple million on you. Give you everything you say you don't do, yeah. Special type of feeling that I feel when I'm with you. Want the money anytime when I'm with you. I want your heart and soul and money too. I can't let you go. I begin to fall in love. Yeah.
Let me first say to you, I cannot wait to see you. You are the treasure I've been waiting for. Do you know how much I really need you? I remember the door, I can finally kiss you. You know, say I really had a place for you. Oh, in my two days, a permanent place. That's why my heart is beating. Yeah. Cause I know what you for me. I sing for you when I feel like it. Yeah. Baby, for you when I feel like it. To me, I see I can't keep the world too, but
Yo, run it.
behind your tank today. Oh, he never picked. They said he makes 1,000 times a day. But he don't mind me, 'cause he mad at me. Is it too late now to say I'm sorry? Yeah, 'cause I miss you more than just your body. Me, your boys know. Now never be something always so.
I want to see you shaky for that.
Lifeline. I feel like going round again to ask one or two things. Hello.
Hi.
Please, simple one. At what point will you say you won't do again? I was saying, now Becca said, Charlie, this one there, I've closed. You won't go again.
If I get cheated on,
What kind of cheating? First class or second class?
what are the classes?
All of them.
Yeah, all of them.
Kaish, and their own fan check. I'm going to the beautiful ladies. The men there, I know you people. Please, at what point will you say quit?
When it's unbearable.
At what point are you quitting?
The thing that you can see, but doing it, so I wouldn't say anything.
So you just be there.
For now, let's finish with the show.
Please, at what point are you quitting?
When it becomes very abusive.
When it becomes very...
Abusive.
Please, are you writing the vocabs down so that you people don't repeat what they ask? Please, at what point are you quitting?
When it becomes unbearable?
Unbearable, no, adults. The men, later I'll come to you. So, today, today's topic, I said it's going to be fire. And today's topic is enough is enough. How to break up with your partner. Say after me, enough is enough. Enough is enough. Oh, I can't feel the vibe. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. How to break up. How to break up. How to break up with your partner. So are we ready? Oh, we sound dull. Are you sure you are ready? Yes. Are you ready? Yes. Are you ready? Yes. So as usual, you know, I have my Obroni co-host. And she goes by the name Andrina. Let's give it up for Andrina. Andrina.
Hello, Jose.
Another Friday.
Yes.
We are together, living our best days together.
Are you sure? I just,
Hey.
Do you want us to?
To what? To continue?
Do you want me to tell everybody?
That.
Okay, we'll do that after the show.
Oh, no. Do I want you to tell everybody that?
Jose, we just broke up. What's up?
Hey!
Why?
No, what did I do?
After the show.
No, what did I do?
You want me to tell everybody? The other day, my grandma dreamt.
She dreamt that what? You didn't tell me about the dream.
Wow.
Please, you cannot come for last hug.
Okay, welcome once again to the Lifeline. And as my co-host said, we are going to talk about breakups and especially when enough is enough. And I have with me Father Anthony here. So I'll just jump right into it. Breakups are very hard. We all may have experienced it one way or another. And in an instance, I had a friend who was going out with one guy. And then that was in school. And then it turned out to be a more draining, it turned out to be more draining than it could, like she could imagine. She was doing his assignment and the guy was having a field day. So she didn't know when to stop because apparently it was her first love. And her friends were trying to tell her, and it actually got worse because he started drinking, he started smoking, he started missing class, and he became very abusive. So he abused her one day, and that is when she realized that enough is really enough. And at that point, it had gotten to the peak. She didn't have to wait for it to get there. So in such an instance, do you actually have to wait for the person to get there before you? I remember we spoke about this when we were talking about toxic relationships, but in an instance where it had to get abusive, I just want to know if you agree with her waiting, or, for the benefit of those who are also in similar relationships now, would you say that they should wait?
Well, I think you shouldn't even wait till it gets there. When the signs are clear,
So there are signs?
Yes, so when the signs are clear, why do you want to wait when you know it's not going to lead you anywhere?
Love is blind.
Well, you open one eye small and close the other.
Okay. So you said there are signs, but then I want to know, are there leading causes to breakups? In this millennial age?
Yes, I think that the first of all, or the first of all of them, is lack of knowledge.
Wow.
Mostly of self, not the other.
Really?
Yes, the lack of knowledge of self is the leading cause of breakups.
Okay.
So that many people don't even know why they need somebody in their lives. Okay, so they go into a relationship without knowing what they need, who they are, and what they need. So, for instance, you are a person whose energy comes back after stress. Your energy comes back when you are alone. You rest and you sleep and you are fine. Okay. Then you go into a relationship hoping that when you are stressed, you get somebody to share with. And the person is always taking and demanding your attention, and you have to be there. You close from lectures or from work. You have to drive from Lashibi to Kaswa just to go and visit your girlfriend. And if you don't go, there is wahala. So it means that you didn't even know who you are. You didn't know what motivates you, what regains your strength, and you go into a relationship and you are disappointed. So that's the leading cause, not knowing who you are. Okay, so you know who you are and you know what really satisfies you.
But then love knows no boundaries.
Yes, you see, love comes in when love is real and it's practical. Love is practical. I want everybody to know that. Okay, so if you know love is practical, if you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend who keeps telling you, I love you, but does not show it, like the Bible says, you know, in the book of James, that show me your faith and I'll show you my faith with my works. Okay, so love is practical. So if you don't know yourself and you think that, you know, love is blind, love is this, love is that, yes, it's real, it's true. But it is a life to live. Okay, so if you don't live that love, it's meaningless. So if you don't know yourself and what satisfies you, then anything goes. And that is the first thing that will make people break up. The next one is over expectation or disappointing expectations. People go into relationships based on what they have heard, what they have seen, especially people who watch a lot of movies, and you know, the movie writers are very creative. Okay, so we exaggerate certain, you know, aspects of the story, and so you are going into a relationship when you want your guy to hug you about, you know, 30 minutes, and they can create that 30 minutes in 2 seconds for you to see. And you go into a relationship and you are not getting it, you get disappointed. Or you are hoping that, you know, love will never hurt. And so you go into a relationship and you are hurt once and you are so disappointed, which means that you had an unrealistic expectation. Okay, so that's the second one. The third one is more medical. You know, you go into a relationship and you realize that maybe your genotype, your blood genotype, may not really help your future. Okay, so you, like, for instance, you are, a guy is AS and a lady is AS or SS. You realize that, yes, you could really share your passion and everything, but in terms of love that may lead to marriage, it's not advisable. Okay, so people may want to quit. And the last one is social accidents. Yes, some accidents may happen, and I'm talking about social or psychosocial accidents, not physical accident. That one too can come in, but I'm talking about psychosocial accidents where, for instance, you are in a relationship and all of a sudden, you know, whatever it is that was fueling your love, you know, is crushed. Okay, I know of a guy who, when the lady really needed him most, that was when he had lost his twin brother. And he himself wasn't, you know, she herself was not in that state to help the boyfriend. So when that happens, then there is there's a need for them to break up, okay, just to save it, because you are just hurting yourself. You get it? Yeah. So let me be very practical. I'm not ashamed to say this on air. My mother was my girlfriend, my body, my concerned mate, my everything. Okay, and she died at a time that I needed her most, when my father had died just a few months earlier. Okay, and before she died, she made me aware that that was just a few months to my ordination, my diaconate ordination. So I had made a vow that this, my mother, is my mother. No matter what, she is there for me. I will not send anybody else to the ordination but my mother, even if she's sick. And she promised me that she'll be there. Only for the following week, she passed on. That psychosocial accident of me losing my mother, especially in my arms, okay, made me hate women.
Oh.
So, and around that time, any lady in my life who was overly caring, especially if you ask me questions like, oh, so Father, have you eaten? How was your day? No, things that sounded like, Mommy, I hate you for that, because you are making me recall certain things.
Yeah.
So imagine I was in a relationship at that time. I'll end up abusing my partner if I were, okay? So that is what we call the psychosocial accidents. It can happen at any time, and if you are not prepared for it, forget it.
Hope I can ask this. Have you ever had a broken heart aside your mother's?
Oh, yes. Well, I know one of them is in the studio here. But I mean, that one we'll do it backstage.
Okay. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think I know the person.
Yes, but I mean, let's not talk about it. That's on the lighter side. Anyway.
Also, we have like 4 leading causes for breakups.
Exactly.
Now, when you're aware of these leading causes, does it inform you when you're in a relationship? Must you always keep it in mind? Because some people can be very cautious about it, and then they tend to not be themselves. Do you think it's something you always have to carry consciously?
Yes, but you see, if you miss a step, it's better you go back and pick it up than to continue and fall. Okay, so normally, if for instance, the first leading cause, which is lack of knowledge of self, okay, you have missed that and you are in a relationship already, okay, and you think you can go back and check yourself, who really am I? What kind of a guy do I need in my life? And all this, you are not able to, you realize you are not able to do that, then it's better you quit and start again, rather than moving forward and hurting yourself.
Exactly.
So for instance, many men psychosocially are fixed to certain things. So assuming that I like fair ladies, okay, and because I'm quite religious, I'm trying to pretend that all dark ladies are okay, okay, then I'm dating a dark lady. It goes to a point, anytime we go out and I see a fair lady, I'm eyeing the person.
You have to tell.
Knowing very well that I don't want to cheat on my girl. Why not be honest and accept who I am? Now that I've been able to know exactly who I am, my taste, what type of people fit me and all that, now I know. Why don't I honorably bow out to save the innocent girl, the dark lady, who is innocently dating me, so that I end up hurting her? You see, so you always have to have it in mind, whether you are already in a relationship or you are about to. It is always important.
You are touching some spots for some people.
Well, I hope it's not awesome. But anyway.
Yes, so Fred, I would like you to share with us what the possible signs are when we are getting into a breakup. If we are getting close to it, what are the possible signs we have to look out for?
Well, you know, there is what we call the normal curve. Okay. A normal curve starts from the ground or the lowest level, it rises and you realize it's gotten to its peak and it's beginning to fall.
Okay.
Normally, intuitively, you will feel that something is wrong. You know, especially, I guess most of our viewers are Christians.
Yeah.
Once you are baptized, you are a prophet, you are a priest, you are a king. Okay, so remember, prophecy comes first, and you are able to forecast. Sometimes deep inside of you, you know that something is wrong.
Yeah.
That's a foundation. Okay. Now that you know that foundation, that something is wrong, then look out for 4 things. Only 4.
Okay.
Once you are able to identify them, even if it's one, but it's very intensive, it means it's time to quit.
Oh wow.
1. If it affects your thinking pattern, we call it the cognitive. Okay, so you are in a relationship, and in the relationship, you are not too comfortable to a point that you can't even think straight. Okay, you can't think straight. You are easily forgetful, and you are in the office. You are trying to, maybe a banker. You are trying to sign, endorse a check or something of maybe 1,000 cedis, and you write 100,000 cedis. you are beginning to mess up, you can't think straight, you are asked to do this. And I remember somebody says, you know, in the kitchen, before she could say that, she had poured sugar into her soup, you know, and then you realize that you are not thinking straight cognitively. Then you know that this relationship is getting to a point I would have to quit. If it begins to affect your behavior, okay, then that's the second one. If it's beginning to affect your behavior, then you should know that it's getting to another level altogether. So that then all of a sudden you begin to be withdrawn, or you are trying to pretend to, as if you are forcing yourself on the guy or the lady, as if you are nobody. So you are pretending to be who you are not by behaving in a weird way. Okay, so you would have to, you know, drive all the way from here to Tema just to go and get tilapia and bring it back to Kaswa and give it to your girlfriend. Girl, not on pill. So why do you want to behave? So if you realize that you are behaving in a way to please the person, or you are behaving in a way just to hurt the person, so that both sides work. So that the second one is behavior. If it is you are behaving weirdly, whether positive or negative, then there's a problem.
Interesting.
The next one is emotional. If it's beginning to affect your emotions, you are there, you are in your room, you think about the guy or the lady, and all you can do is to cry. Is that all the relationship there is? So your emotions are so down. Or it gets to a point you realize that when you are with the guy, something small, you are arguing. Okay, you are angry. There's something inside of you that is so, you know, annoying to you, or you are always crying, or sometimes even yesterday was World Suicide Day.
Yeah.
It gets to a point you feel like life is no longer important. You want to die, you know, for the person, and you know, you realize that it's affecting you. That's the third level. Now the final level is physical. When it's beginning to affect your health, you are there, your heart is beginning, anytime the guys, you know, issue come up, your heart is beating, you are having headache, your pressure is going high, and you are even having running stomach.
No.
Yes, you are running, and some people even do the opposite. About 2 days, the passengers you take by food have not dropped. And, you know, the opposite of what I'm talking about, you know. So, if it's beginning to affect your health, then it's time. Now, so I mentioned the foundation, and I mentioned the 4. Now, the final thing I'm talking, so the main thing is the 4. Cognitive, behavioral, emotional, and physical. And the foundation is the intuitiveness. Okay. Now, the final thing, which is the ceiling, is what we call the severity level. So it's either any or a combination of the 4. Okay. However, the severity level is this. We have normal, we have average, we have above normal, we have severe, and we have extremely severe. So you would have to do what we call a self-assessment test. That is SAT. Ask yourself, so the way I'm feeling physically, is it normal or is severe? If it crosses above normal for 2 of them, then it's time to quit.
Wow.
Yes, it's time to quit.
So even if it's normal, and the person you can tell out of all the 4 signs, you can tell about 5 are very obvious, but then they are normal. Is it still good enough to quit?
Yes. You see, as I said, if all the 3 out of the 4 are normal, the one is extremely severe, then you are getting to a point, it will affect the rest. Okay, so all these 4, you know, it's kind of, there's a transfer of, you know, infections among the 4. So imagine your behavior is getting aggressive. You might look at what happened to, I think it's a public secret now, where a man of God would have to shoot a wife. why would you want to get to that point where your behavior will change to the point of publicly expressing your anger? Let's justify the man who shot the wife. Let's assume that he is a very, very righteous person. Let's not even gossip around it. But if the relationship has gotten to a point where he would have to shoot the wife in public, then there's a problem.
A very big one.
Okay. Imagine you are a very calm person and it's only your behavior that is changing. So you're a lady, a very respectful lady, then you have to go to your boyfriends and fight another woman or insult another woman, which is not you. You know, you have gotten to a severe level of only one. Maybe the rest is okay. Okay, so once it gets to severe level, if with one, then you should get ready to stop work and go home.
That's interesting. I believe a few of our audience have some questions for us, so I would give it back to Jose.
If you want to send your questions, you can send them via WhatsApp 055 1733 733 055 1733 733. You can also leave your comments and your messages on our Facebook and YouTube page. So yeah, any questions, any contribution? Okay.
Okay, so I wanted to find out at what point, because we've heard from you a couple of things that shows that this is the time to break up. But sometimes you also look at the fact that you've been in love with this person, like you've shared some moments, you have memories. So you're even blinded by all that is happening, all that you're looking forward to is the fact that, okay, I'm in love with this person. And sometimes you have this hope that regardless everything that happens, you two are still going to work things together, you're going to come back together. So I think it's a mindset, okay, because it's so clear, very obvious that things are not going well, but then your heart is telling you that stay in this relationship. So at what point, knowing all what you said, at what point should you really come out of a relationship?
Are you taking more before I answer?
Maybe you should address it now.
So, you know, at what point may not necessarily depend on you, but it depends on the signs. Sometimes you invest so much in a relationship, or you hope that the person will change, but the signs are showing otherwise. Why do you want to wait until it crashes you? Okay, so as to when, the truth is you would have to be objective. But for those who are not in a relationship yet, you would have to, at the beginning of every relationship or before you go into a relationship, it's always good that you try to know your limits, know the things that it gets to a point you would want to quit. So that once that one is at the back of your mind, if you see those signs, you will not let your emotions, the love, you know, the histories and everything cloud your vision. You get it? So that then you're able to quit. But if you only look at what is happening around you, you may want to hope, and that hope may not help you.
Okay, so Father, I have a very interesting one. Says, my girlfriend told me she had a sexual relationship with her colleague in the past. But each time I see her with him, I feel jealous. Unfortunately, he drops her home each day after work because they often closely. I am afraid something might happen between them again. But unfortunately, I can't ask her to quit her job, especially as he pays her very well. Please advise me.
You see, whatever this gentleman is saying could be real. But the truth is that if there is no jealousy, a form of jealousy in a relationship, that relationship does not exist. Even God is a jealous God. we are valuable in his sight to the point that he will send his son to come and die just to save us. So there's a form of jealousy. The highest form of jealousy is in our God. Okay, so it is normal to feel jealous, but to feel jealous to the point of distraction, or to destroy somebody's relationship, or somebody's job, or to the point of inferiority complex, which is a cognitive dysfunction, then that person needs, whoever asks that question would have to learn to work on his self-image and up his game. The truth is that ladies are not irrational. They are able to think through. So if, for instance, you are not up in your game and you feel so jealous to the point that you want to be overly possessive, you are gradually making what you are thinking come to pass. Because then you are beginning to be overly, reasonable and everything. And she goes to work and somebody is trying to compliment her. She might go back. You understand? So what I'll tell my brother or whoever asks the question is that up your game. Jealousy is normal, but don't overdo it. Possessiveness is normal, but don't overdo it. Allow her. And the more freedom you allow her, you leave her conscience to come back to you.
Really?
Yes.
I think the more freedom you give her could lead her into also falling for the other colleague.
It's a good argument there. Any of them can work. But the truth is that if you feel choked, you want to go out and breathe. Okay? So that if you're in a relationship, I'm in a relationship with you, and you feel choked and I'm overly possessive and I don't want to see you with this guy, and you know very well that you are innocent of the charges I'm giving you. Before God and man, you begin to feel disrespected, you begin to feel choked, you begin to feel uncomfortable around me. And mind you, because you are uncomfortable, you sit in the other guy's car, the guy sees it, and so my dear, what is happening to you these days? You are quiet. The guy will begin to be caring. And before you are aware, what the fears I'm having will now come to pass. We call it the BAC reaction.
Oh.
Yes. so it's ABC, but we start with the B. The B is your belief system. I believe that my girlfriend may be cheating on me. That's my B. And therefore, it causes me to do an A, action. And my action is trying to be so overly protective and demanding and everything. What will be the consequence? C. So the consequence will be that you feel uncomfortable with me, and you might end up pouring your uncomfortability, as if there's a word like that, with the other guy. That this is what my boyfriend is saying. Charlie, you and I know that we have nothing to do. And this my boyfriend, the boyfriend will, the guy will begin to, what's the word, what is kro in English?
Console.
Console. Okay. So the guy will begin to console you. So the consequence, therefore, will be that I'm pushing you for the guy to console you. Yeah. Then one day you just take a hug, small from the guy. Okay, and then I catch you. Then my B becomes bigger. Then my A will become bigger. Then I'll continue doing your consequence. So then the BAC before you are.
Then it's a big thing.
That's it.
But then again, the girl was being honest enough to tell her boyfriend that she really indeed had something to do with this guy. So I believe she wanted to establish that fresh start or be open to him. He should.
What if, or let it me to avoid another?
Sorry?
And I come and confess.
You see, I always say something. Let's note the difference. Any person in a relationship who does not accept honesty is childish.
Oh.
So if you have opened up to me that this is my past and I'm using that against you, I don't deserve you.
True.
I don't respect you.
Exactly.
Now, so now to your question, okay, the how. So there is what we call an action and reaction. I have done something in my past and I've told you. Then it means that the one that you are about to do is a reaction, and it makes the other cheating childish because you are doing that as a reaction to my past action. So yours is premeditated and it's wrong.
Exactly.
Reaction, they are physics. Okay, so now that find it, you get it. Okay.
But then it's something that happens on a regular.
Yes. Yes.
Well,
So that is the second cause of breakup, what I was talking about, unrealistic expectations.
Exactly.
You know, somebody is expecting that you are matured enough to accept my past. So I come and open up to you and you are using that against me. Oh, come on.
Okay.
Okay, so based on the question, these are clearly red flags in a relationship. Because from what the guy is saying, it's like he already doubts the girl. So why must he even continue in the first place? That's how I understand it. So these are red flags. You've seen this and this. It's like he doesn't trust the girl. So there's no need continuing. So that's the advice I would give the boy. He should get this.
I'm not sure he doesn't trust the girl. He has his own fears. I mean, I've had something doing with this lady in the past. Or yes, the lady has had something doing with a colleague in the past. And I'm going out with her. She has told me that they had something doing. And they are still coming back home late. This time.
No,
Wow, this is a very delicate topic.
They are still in the office. They see themselves.
They come home late.
You see,
But
I like the argument.
we should go. Let's go the argument. Go for the commercial break. Or we come back and pick it up again. Because if we continue right now, the fire service they are not yet here. So we have to go for now.
So let's call the fire service. Go for break. By the time we are back, the fire service
This is here.
Yes, then we'll
must fight
continue.
the fire.
Thank you very much. So fire service, what's their number? That's Uber. That's Uber service. Okay. The Lifeline.
Let's live our best days together.
The Lifeline.
Let's live our best days together.
Okay. So if you also want to join in, you can do that via Facebook and YouTube, St. Bakita Catholic Church, Lashibi. If you want to send your message via WhatsApp too, it's 055 1733 733. 055 1733 733. So now, without much ado, welcome Jay and Fedi to give us some musical break. Let's give it up for them. Oh, we can do it better. Let's do it.
When the rain is flowing in your face, and the whole world is on your case, I could offer you a warm embrace to make you feel my love. When the evening shadows and stars appease, and there's no one there to dry your tears, I could hold for a million years to make you feel my love. I know you haven't made your mind up peace, but I could never do you wrong. I know that from the moment that we met, no doubt in my mind where you belong. I'll go hungry, I'll go black and blue, I'll go crawling down the avenue, and there's nothing that I wouldn't do to make you feel my love. The storms are raging on the rolling seas, dreams come true. Nothing that I wouldn't do for you. Go to the ends of the earth for you, to make you feel my love, to make you feel my love. Guess it's true, I'm not good at the one night stand. 'Cause I still need love, 'cause I'm just a girl. These nights never seem to go to plan. I don't want you to leave, would you hold my hand? Oh, won't you stay with me? 'Cause you're all I need. This ain't love, it's clear to see. But darling, stay with me. Why am I so emotional? No, it's not a good look, need some self-control. Deep down I know this never works, but can you lay with me so it doesn't hurt? Oh, won't you stay with me? 'Cause you're all I need. This ain't love, it's clear to see. But darling, stay with me.
Chen, Mamin Bo, Komubi, Men come on and learn there. Menil doi cofontese. Adore me one long cotono, Obiarani Obutum, Assisa Madrin Lauda.
It's not me chain, mommy won't come on me. Men come on in every day. Obi ni poni ose. Chain, mommy won't come over. Men come on in any day. One say, yeah, one say.
Send to Watana, they won't tell me I'm helpful. Get doesn't do I read tree, mommy, and EJ. Baby, leave it's not in chain, mommy won't come over. Men come on in any day.
Me, what place am don't you break my heart. Slamming chain, mommy won't come over. Men come on in any day. Hoping you want it was sad. Slamming chain, mommy won't come over. Slamming chain, mommy won't come over. Men come on in any day. Hoping you want it was sad. Slamming chain, mommy won't come over. Men come on in any day. Why say, why say? Don't I say me mom. Busy me racing in a mo. When you say I say me mom, baby, don't you break my heart. It's not me chain, mommy won't come over. Ain't come on in any day. just you. Odona mi uma ukotono, obiare ni obosu. Sisa machi ejuna. Tramita, chalala. Oh, chalala. Oh, Mami bonko mobio, oh,
Hey, hey, intimate, I'm a baby, Paulina. Baby, yeah, walk, catch me,
Mami bonko mobi, minko moni nani day. Obiani woni wose Snamin chano mami bonko mobi Inkomo ni nani day Mase ye wase
Marks them, you was them. Oh, we can do it better for them. So once again, I want to acknowledge our sponsor, Sabama, that is the St. Vakita Mashalan Association. If you feel you want to join them, you can reach them on 020-202-6711, 020-2026-711. Let me take some comment from Facebook, then we'll continue. Victor Aite says, when enough is enough, it will over you la. Breaking up 101. Victor again says, love is practical. Joan says, when your partner becomes an onion, you will always cry. Ish. Then, okay, this is a question. Patricia says, can there be a possible makeup after a breakup? Hey. Then Esther says, Father, if you missed a step, no need going back to pick up. Patricia says, I love today's topic. Obiso say, girl, no, I hope it's not me. Very educative, Father Tony. Okay, so Father, can there be a possible makeup after a breakup?
Sure. Why not? You can. The truth is, you remember the first cause, as I said, is lack of knowledge of self. So I know people who think they don't like particular things, and so it happens to them and they break up, only for them to reassess themselves and know that it was just a social accident. So it doesn't mean, for instance, I have a cousin of mine who hated fried rice with passion. Okay, I'm just using that as an example. He hated fried rice with passion. Why? Because his girlfriend was sick. He had to get her food before she takes her medicine. And the girlfriend took the food, and within the very next day, not knowing there was no digestion at all, and the girl vomited, and the food was just as it was consumed.
Wow.
You understand? So, if, for instance, this guy, the next day or the following day, you take him out and you buy fried rice and he hates fried rice, it doesn't mean he hates fried rice.
He still
It's
has
because
that
of
vivid
yes.
image, yeah.
So maybe one day he sits back and says, well, it's true. I mean, it's not that I hated fried rice, but because of blah, 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 blah. Okay, and you correct it. You can always come back if, you come back and the same person is still available. Yeah. You can come back. So, yes, there's a comeback if after reassessment you realize that it was not anybody's fault or it's amendable. Why not?
Okay. So back to what we're talking about. When is it enough for you to break up? Yes, and then we had the little argument of the guy whose girlfriend was still riding with her colleague. and a few of the audience shared a view. I thought you addressed that.
Oh, okay. I think both of them are right. However, you see, maturity may have to come in. You see, the person is coming back with their ex. If you honestly have evidence to prove, why do you want to stay with such a person? But don't conjecture, don't judge somebody ahead of time. You see, many people do that, and so innocent people come their way and they abuse them. So once my girlfriend is even talking to her ex, because it has happened to somebody before, then you judge your girlfriend ahead of time. And you hurt the person. So the person who is supposed to have loved you will end up hating you too. Okay, remember the BAC thing I talked about. So both of you are right, but you may have to take your time, hold on. If you have enough evidence, quit. Now if you think it's just a form of jealousy, maybe when we get into how to actually break up, we'll go into deeper, conversation on that. But both of you are right. But all the comments I want to add to resolve the two arguments will be that don't judge somebody ahead of time.
Is there some sort of thinking process you'd have to go through personally before you consider breaking up?
Well, maybe if we jump straight into
the how. Okay.
The how, maybe it will help.
So then how?
Okay.
How do you break up someone you claim you were
So
in
how
love with?
were you able to break up with Jose?
I just told him that I can't do this.
There is no breakup.
There is. There is.
I haven't accepted.
Oh.
When I asked you out, you say yes. When you said yes,
broke up. You didn't have to give me a reply.
I haven't said yes. So
relax. Well, I think if the lawyers are watching, we want to look at the Contract Act of Ghana.
Yeah.
Yes, so
true.
that the initial proposal, once the one who accepted the proposal has accepted the conditions of the proposal, until the two of you come down to sit to restructure, there's no breakup.
Oh,
But
my lawyer is here anyway.
we'll not
One of
go
my
into-
lawyers are here.
Okay.
Shaibu. I hope you can hear me.
Shaibu is around. He's also my lawyer.
But I mean, that one is more of corporate proposals as in contracts. I'm just on the right side. But let's go straight to the how.
How? Yes.
Anybody watching us, our people, our viewers, our cherished viewers, should just put this acronym down. Plan. So if you want to break up, just plan. But the plan is double A, so PLAAN. Plan. Okay. So the first one is you will have to plan. Actually, PLAN. You plan. To make the next U-turn, you don't jump into. So, for instance, you are on a highway. Just let me give you a very, very vivid example. So you are going to Aplau from Lashibi, right? Then I show you the way to the highway. You have an idea. You know, it's not that you are naive. You don't know where you are going to. You know you are going to Aplau. Okay. So you get to almost around the motorway, and somebody tells you, "Oh, please, madam, I'm going to Aplau. Where do I?" You use a Spintex road, so you get to Tetekwashi, and you are a little bit lost. You are a human being. You got lost. You ask somebody, "I'm going to Aplau." He said, "Oh, Tetekwashi, this where you are is Accra Mall area. So just turn, make around it, and take the left." Okay. Then you take the left. You go, then there's a traffic light at Jowulu. Then there's a traffic light at La Paz. Then there's a traffic light at... You realize that from here to Aplau, there should be a flyover and there's no traffic light. So you continue and you realize that no, this is not the path I was looking for. Then you stop and you in the traffic light, somebody is selling and you ask the person, "Please, is that the Aplau road?" So, "Oh, madam, why you are Will you just turn there where you are over the covers?"
No, you don't obviously have
You
to.
have to go forward. Yeah. But the idea is to look out for the next U-turn.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's the planning. When you realize that your relationship is not going on well, and all the indicators are that you would have to quit, plan. move forward and look out for the next opportunity too. You don't behave childish and just if you make that turn right where you are, okay, and so I'm not surprised that let's again justify, for instance, the man who shot the wife. Okay, let's justify him. But maybe if he had planned well that this woman, I will divorce her at all costs, but I'm just waiting for an opportunity, okay, he wouldn't have done what he did. I'm just giving as an example. I'm not saying that I don't know the story behind it. So if you are in a relationship and you realize that it's getting abusive, it's getting toxic enough, it's getting bad, and so you want to quit, plan and be watching out for some opportunities for the guy or the lady to give you actual reasons, okay, that yes, finally you have done the same thing I was talking about. So you have an actual reason to quit. Okay. Then you take that U-turn and go back to where you wanted to. Yeah. Okay. And again, when you are planning, it's like you want to do it. So the fact that you are still going on with your boyfriend or your girlfriend doesn't mean that you are a fool.
Okay.
So if you're a gentleman, for instance, your wife or your girlfriend is messing up with you and you want to break up, the fact that you are slow on it doesn't make you weakling. It means that you are smart, you are trying to find the next U-turn, a clear way to make a turn so that you don't hurt anybody, including yourself.
So it's at this point where you ask yourself why.
Ask yourself why.
You can work on it.
Exactly.
Okay.
You ask all the questions. Am I really right? Am I sure of what I want to do? So in this case, you are still in a relationship, but you are asking yourself so many questions. Many people go and break up, and at the end of the day, they are either caught by the police of their own emotions, and they regret whatever they have done, and they get broken-hearted, and they get regretful, and they get so many things. So plan. Okay. 2, it's your choice of language. Speak to somebody.
Okay.
Language is very, very key. You may end up hurting your own self even if you are right. Imagine you caught your boyfriend in bed with another woman. So you feel, how do you feel? Maybe I feel, just give me a list, how will you feel?
Hurt, angry,
angry,
disappointed.
And basa basa.
I'd definitely have thoughts of murder, but that's the extreme. That's the extreme.
Extreme. Don't be afraid. I mean, the police are there to protect you. The police is our
The police is my friend.
Yes.
Really?
So, so now you have all these emotions running up in you. Imagine you come to me and say, I caught you with another woman. I'm so angry. It's all over. Then you get home, only to realize that you are not just only angry. You are disappointed, you feel disrespected. Then you call me because you say it's over, I don't want to pick your call again. So the rest of your emotions are hidden in you. Then you feel hurt the more. Okay, so language is very, very important. As you plan, you think of all the things you are going through and you go and say it. Okay, so the language is important, and you keep talking to somebody else, someone who will understand you. Okay, so that maybe there's a daddy figure or uncle figure or somebody at church or wherever you are, a boss, somebody who understands your generation. Speak to somebody so the person can help you.
I like what you just said, somebody who understands your generation.
It's very important. You know, sometimes you go and talk to somebody and the person doesn't even understand you. The person understands the language in his or her time. Okay. You see, maybe it's something different. So somebody who understands your generation, but somebody who is not reacting, somebody who feel like you feel, but it's not reacting like you are reacting.
Okay.
So don't talk, so the technical word here is, don't talk to somebody who has sympathy. Talk to somebody who has empathy. Okay. Sympathy is, I feel the way you feel, and I act the way you act. But empathy is, I feel the way you feel, but I don't react the way you react. So you come and tell me, I understand you, but I will calm down and look at the whole situation very well, and I'm able to tell you, I think you need to quit, or I think you need to hold on. So that the language is very, very important.
Okay.
Then the next one is what we call assertion. Assertively talk. Okay. Don't hide anything. say it as it is. For all you know, the breakup will not only help you, but to teach the other partner a lesson that you don't treat human beings like this. But some people, it's like they will not talk at all. So you call them, they will not say anything. It's like they use their silence to break up. No, talk.
They'll ghost on you.
They'll
just
ghost on you.
vanish.
Well, I love that terminology. In the seminar, we used to call it cemetery peace. You know, cemetery, we are all in the same estate. Okay, our houses are in the same estate, but we don't talk to each other. So don't use the ghosting or the cemetery peace approach. We are human beings. Talk to the person. Maybe the person is being, neglectful or something. Not necessarily cheating. Cheating is just one. But maybe the person is neglectful or something. If you don't say it, you break up all right, but you have not helped the person to even develop. And the hurt will also be in you because you have not been able to vent your emotions out. Okay, so assertively talk. But I use the word assertive talk. That's the first A, assertive talk, because assertive talk is not a judgmental talk. Neither is it quietness.
Okay.
So for instance, again, you meet your guy cheating and you ask yourself, how do I feel? So next time you tell the guy, I met you, you were sleeping with another person. I feel this, I feel that, I feel this, I feel that. Therefore, I've quit. You don't go and say, you are a cheat. I didn't know that men were like that. That one is not assertiveness. You are judging, you are insulting, you are also abusing. Me too, I don't know that all women are like that.
Well.
Okay, so you hurt the person to the point that the person may never say sorry. But if you're able to express how you feel, okay, the person will one day think and know that he or she has hurt another partner. Okay, so assertive talk is very, very necessary.
So wait, when you get to the point where you have calmed down and you've asserted yourself and now you want to speak to your partner about it, but yet still the partner is not ready to listen, or he's a type that it goes in one ear and comes out of the other, and then the next time he's doing the same thing. At that point, what do you do?
Okay.
Because we have people like that. They would come and sit before you, apologize, and then you talk to them, I've changed, it won't happen, I understand, I'll work on it. Next minute, they're doing the same thing.
Good. So after you have done the assertive talk, which is the first A, the next A is action.
Okay. What's the action?
Yes, so action is action. It's okay. Yapon. You know, there are two Asante names I love. Kofi Fofie and Yapon. So Yapon's brother is Fofie. So Yapon are Kofi. I mean, after Lifeline, and we are closed, and you are still sitting here, what are you doing? I wonder if your audience online, somebody will still be online till next morning. Then the person is sick.
Coffee.
Okay, so, and I'm very particular about the second A, which is the last one, because many people make that mistake of the action point. So they will plan, they will do the language, they will consult, they will come and say, they will not abuse you, but come and pour their heart to you and everything. But when it gets to the action plan, they give, mixed attitude. So today, I come to you and I say, okay, we are broken up and I'm going. I don't want to talk to you again. Give me some time to heal. I say, okay, I hear you. I'm very sorry. No, I've told you I don't want. Then 2 weeks later, they call me. So having tea miss me. What is that? When you take an action, stand by it. When you take an action, stand by it. Let people respect you for it. Sometimes, unfortunately, some ladies do that too much. You make the guy not respect you. Okay, so it's like, so the person will begin to look down on you. I always use this example. If you know that, for instance, Kofi is like this. For him, when he speaks, he has spoken. Okay, that itself, when you begin to respect the person. But if there's a boss, this boss, when he says no, you just go and talk to him small. It means that boss, we don't respect him. But when you have a boss that all the people at the workplace know that this boss, once he says this, he means it. Everybody respects him. So if you want to take an action, please stand by it. At least for the next, half of the period you have dated. So if you have dated for about 2 years and even assuming that you have mistakenly broken up, you later on reflected and realized that you needed to come back. Why do you want to cheapen yourself and come back all of a sudden? Then you yourself, you are as cheap as that. Okay, so action, be constant on it. Always stand on your word. Nobody is able to judge, Pilate because he says, what I have written, I have written. See, period. Jesus said, same. He says, Father, you sent me to come and die. At this point, how I wish that the cross will pass me by. But so long as I've said I'll come to die for these people, let your will be done. So that is why we respect Jesus. He could have stopped. He had the power. Okay, so action is action. Do it and do it well. Now the last one is what we call the new life, which I guess will lead us into maybe the next what to do when you are broken life, when you are broken out.
Yeah, that's
So that is the final point of the breakup. Immediately the action has been taken. What do you do? But until we go there, what is important is when you are planning, find a way of coping in the immediate. Some people just decide to stop, and that becomes a problem. Okay, so you find a way to cope until you settle in.
Okay.
Yeah.
In view of this, we have come to the end of today's show. And Father, would you like to give us some? Wait, well, I mean the talk. So we are going to open it up for you guys, but then I wanted to share your last remarks with us, and then we open it up for the audience.
Okay, to also ask questions.
Yes, because they are waiting to pounce on you.
If they pounce.
You can't pounce on Father. Share.
Hey.
Full regalia, I'm here.
Yes, I mean I wanted to break up with somebody on the show, but
Yeah,
after the break, the way I saw tears in their eyes and everything, I want to plan.
Father, break up and
and how they are setting. I get it.
And come and say it the way it is the next time. But what I would say is there are two types of toxins. Okay, we have the physical one. So if you have been poisoned and your liver is crushed, if you don't do dialysis, you die. Okay, sometimes if dialysis doesn't work, we replace your kidneys for you. Okay. Now, if that is the case, then you try to do dialysis. If it doesn't work, then there is a replacement. Other than that, you die. It's the same thing with emotions. If you are in a toxic relationship and you have tried, and it's not working, please change. Change the kidney. I've not said anything, but I've said everything.
Yeah.
It's time to break up. Other than that, I like, going for a few funerals for a reason. Because at least there'll be takeaway. So if you, because of a man or a woman, you die, your funeral will be a little bit a stupid one. But such people too, there is enough refreshments. But if you die, invite me. I'll be late for the burial mass, but for reception, I'll be there. Yes. But life is beautiful. Life is so worth to live. Let's live it well.
Sure. So, Jose,
okay.
I believe some audience want to share.
The question is here, okay, let me take this one from you before I move to the audience. Do you think it is worth trying to fix the relationship problems despite the pain one may be going through, believing that in time things will get better? Do you think it is worth trying to fix the relationship problems despite the pain one may be going through, believing that in time things will get better?
Sure. You remember I said it, that when there is toxic in your system, there is poison in your system, try to flush it until it doesn't work. And with this, pardon me to quote something especially for those who are married. Okay, if you are married, that is not the time to quit. gets to some time you may have to die for it. And the reason is that people are misquoting Matthew chapter 19, verse 9. That except in the, you may want to divorce your partner, you may have to stay with your partner, except in the case of infidelity. The truth is that the Bible never said when your partner is infidel, or your partner is flirting, or your partner is having an affair, you have to quit. The Bible never said that. Let us is one word. Okay, so you pick it.
Sure.
Okay, Father, I do believe that if you want to break up, you should say it with your chest. You did this, you did that. And for a while, you've been doing this, so I think it's not good enough, so I want to end it. But then again, you talk about plan. When you say plan, I think there are two types of plan. The figurative one, where you would give the person some chances. Let's say the person is an alcoholic. So you do this, the person goes to drink. So you've tried your maximum best to make sure that the person does not go back to alcoholism. Now the second plan, where people literally set you up so they can break up with you. What would you say about people like that? Because, for instance, they know you're an alcoholic. They're just waiting for you to go and say that they can break up with you. But you're also not doing it, so they'll set you up to drink so they can break up.
Yeah,
that's an amazing question. You know, the second one is evil. You don't set somebody up so that the person falls into a trap and you break up. That's evil. Okay, so your plan is giving the person the benefit of the doubt, you know, hoping that the person will change. And if he doesn't change, you change. Okay, but to set somebody up, that is so unethical, so bad. And I remember when we were in the seminary, you know, somebody, you know, asked a question like that. It says, you know, Father, bless me, Father, for I've sinned, and that I was just sitting with a girl and we're looking at ourselves, and we went closer small, and our lips were getting closer. And he said, and you did what? He says, Father, it ended there. He says, so why are you coming? He says, so I didn't intend doing anything with her. I was just tempting her. So tempt to know your bonsam. So don't tempt somebody. You are not bonsam. It's only bonsam who tempts. Okay, so that's an amazing question.
Okay.
Father, so a friend said, I was in a relationship with two guys, one very rich and the other very powerful. Yes, but none of them was aware of the other. I was having a moment with the powerful one night when the rich one chanced on us on his way from work. He couldn't stand the sight and spoke at length, disclosing everything we share. Now both guys have left me, and I feel so empty and used. I'm so heartbroken. Please help me.
She feels used.
Well, so let's not judge the person already. Okay. Normally, when you know, when there is an accident like this, it's good that you find yourself, you heal yourself. Remember the first cause of breakup, as I said, knowledge of self.
Yeah.
So this person doesn't know, do I want money or I want fame? Okay, so it will be good for the person to sit back and not judge anybody, but begin to assess herself.
Yeah.
To get to know what type of man
She wants to
she
be.
wants to. Okay, if she doesn't do that, she'll end up disappointing herself again and again and again. So I'll tell the person that, yes, accept your mistake, step back, do a retreat, find what you want to do, and bounce back. But for now, if you feel brokenhearted and empty, that was, as I was saying, that would be the bridge between this show and the next show. When you are crushed like this and you are empty, find a hobby to do, or learn a bit of a lesson out of it, and if you like, put some journals down. That's the time that all the commentaries that you can do to write poems, for instance, will come into your head.
Yeah.
You know, and so I remember when somebody suggested the topic, Tears of the Ice Cake, you ask yourself, wow, this is, and how did the topic come? For all you know, it's coming from an experience.
Yeah.
Okay, so you become creative. So the person can do creativity now, and until he or she has accepted himself.
My guy is the best I've ever met. Hardworking and with an amazing character. Problem is, he's too comfortable where he is in life, which by all standards is the beginner's life in terms of finances and job security. Several attempts to push him out of his comfort zone and try something new and push forward have proven futile. What should I do? I'm scared my future isn't secured enough. If he goes on at this pace, and he might be jealous if I get so much ahead in life as he does, you know the male ego thing. What should I do?
Well, again, as I said, there's a prejudgment. You're already judging your guy that if you go ahead, unless you have grounds to. But again, the point is, she should have knowledge of herself. What does she want? Does she want somebody who is growing higher in career and everything? Then it means that this relationship will not work for her.
Exactly.
Okay. So again, it will go back to the same thing, knowledge of self. Okay. So help your friend to make an honest assessment. What type of guy do I want? Okay. So if I want somebody who is progressive when it comes to career life, and this person is not, then you realize that that is not the person you want to stay with. Then you may want to quit now before you hurt him. But if you realize that you are okay, then you continue. Or even if you are not okay with it, but the guy is not, for all you know, the guy is not being jealous. And I know of somebody, I'll not mention names, but the wife of that person is a professor and he doesn't even have a doctorate degree. Okay, and this guy is like, I want when my wife is on set, on TV, and it's like Professor so and so, it gives me, you know, enjoyment. You know,
yeah, I believe once there's some kind of understanding, they can work it out. I mean, she could speak to her boyfriend and then establish that level ground that this is how far I want to go, and if you're in support of it, fine, we can win. But I mean, it all depends on them. Yeah. Right. If they really want to work with it, if they really love each other, want to stay with each other, I believe they can work on it.
You're correct.
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay, Father. In an instance where the lady has mood swings, what does the guy do? Like, you call the lady and she's like, I'm not going to talk. And then the next minute she's calling you like, I'm feeling lonely, that sort of thing. What should the guy do?
And the hormones are working.
You have taken me to Revelation chapter 12. You know, sometimes it is hormonal. Okay, remember your ability to explain or express yourself is key in every relationship. Communication is key. And so if you realize that you are such a person where you are easily swayed, your mood goes off and on. When you are in your normal self, okay, try to explain things to your boyfriend. Let your boyfriend be aware of who you are, especially those whose hormones are periodic. There are some ladies whose hormones are high when they are in their menses or when they are ovulating. Okay, so for instance, if you study your pattern for about 3 months, you have realized that when you are ovulating, you are moody. Okay, tell your boyfriend, let your guy be aware. Communication is key in every relationship, whether marriage or beginner of a marriage. Explain this to your partner, and once that is done, the person understands you. I know a couple like that. You know, now it has even become fun for them, because when the woman is in her moody situation, they say, "So I know, so you just be you. When you are ready, come." And remember that I'm piling up all the emotions there. So when you come, the first time that you come back, you enjoy their life. So it has become, fun for them. It's all because of communication. Try to express yourself and it helps.
That's why. And
Come again.
We women express ourselves more in terms of our moods. We have so many moods. I could be happy 1 minute, sad the next minute. I could laugh and then I get angry. So I believe it's a hormonal thing, like you said. But then understanding can also turn into frustration. The guy may understand you at the very minute and say, okay, she's having her mood swings or she's in that period. Then after a few times it happens, he goes like, now you pa every time. At least also try and understand me. In that case, he's not trying to understand me that this is something that is going to happen for the rest of her life because she's a woman.
Well, there's a way to deal with it. Once you're able to communicate, even in clinical psychology in my field, we can help you and you can see a therapist and we work on your mood swings for you. Even if it means that you have to give you some medications called mood stabilizers. We can give you medications and you realize that you will be constant in your mood. Yes, but we are not going to
When it comes to medical, there are some drugs that also affect your mood swings. So sometimes you should take that into consideration.
Sure.
Many of us don't know that when we take certain drugs, for example, I know of metformin, is something diabetes patients take. Sometimes it messes up your mood. So
you're right.
I'm a married man with 3 kids.
Oh, okay, I didn't know.
I lost my job a year ago, and have been searching for a job for some time now. One day, I went for a job interview, only for me to, on my way back home, only for me to realize that my wife has packed her things out of the house to an unknown place. After a week of search, I discover she has moved out and rented a 3-bedroom apartment. What do I do? I really feel like killing myself. I'm so confused.
Well, this is quite pathetic. If we are able to connect with such a person, please let me attend to the person almost immediately. Life is very important, so that is not the end of life. But to the one who asks, the first thing that I will suggest to such a person, is that the person has the opportunity to be wiser than before. There is an old, Israeli saying that when a pit is dug before you, you have 3 levels now. When somebody digs a pit in front of you, intending that you should fall in, you have 3 levels. Meaning, you dig a pit, I have where I am standing, I have the pit down there to fall into, and I have a hill to stand on. So if a woman has done this to you, it gives you the opportunity to learn. It gives you the opportunity to know that, so somebody could do this to me. And so when I'm able to get a job, okay, I am going to take my time before I go into another marriage. That is if the person is not a couple, or find a way of dealing with it. For all you know, the person is not dealing with the person is only dealing with the emotion as it is now. Anger mixed with frustration mixed with disappointment. Let the person calm down first. Then after that, we see the way forward. Okay, so but for now, anybody who feels suicidal, please let the person let us talk almost immediately. It's not a joke.
So let's situate that in the context of indissolubility of marriage. The church expects me to stay in such a marriage and not go away. Imagine such a person. In my poverty, you can't support me. You've moved out to go and rent a 3-bedroom apartment. If someone, for instance, we come back together, do you think there will ever be trust between the two of us?
Well, it depends on how well you resolve the issue. But even in the Catholic Church where we don't allow divorce, this is a serious matter and you are allowed to separate for a while. The church can, if you present your case, the church can allow you to separate. And in that separation, you are even blessed because now you don't have to worry about how to get money to feed a third and a fourth person, because even you yourself, you don't have money. So if the person has decided to free you from spending too much money, then thank your staff. Okay, but what I mean is, emotionally you are down, psychologically you are down. So all you have to do, therefore, is to speak to a counselor or you speak to a psychologist. The person will help you to. There's a form we fill or assessment we make called the COPE assessment. Will help you to know your best COPE skill as per how your brain is wired, so that you're able to cope in these moments of crisis, because crisis can make you lose your personality. Okay, so let's just talk to the person first, and whoever is facing such a challenge, just speak to any professional counselor or psychologist, and you'll be helped. You'll be helped. Yeah.
Hello, Father. I think we've missed a level here. That is to be, I believe, in the practical aspects of relationships. Most times we see as somebody who is mad or somebody who has a psychological problem, moving clothes in public, counting things in the sky. But I believe that most of our youth, I'm always hammering on the youth because I love them. Most of our youth, they get into certain kind of drugs, which I believe later affects the head. Number one drug is, you see, when they meet a young girl, or young girl meets a young man, they want to impress themselves in bed. Number one, they keep taking these things, which if you read into it, it actually comes from medicines for horses, for pigs, and other stuffs. Yeah, so I believe that psychologically, it hits the brain. It hits the brain, and that is what make them, or make some people behave in a certain way in certain relationships. You see, the mind is tuned. So we say that he's equal to the man standing on the road, counting things in the air. So don't you think that people like that, when you are seeing the signs that will lead into a breakup, when you see the signs, one who is better should be able to take the other one through some kind of psychological analysis and then be able to fix the brain back instead of quitting the marriage.
So Daddy, you are right. You remember, as we're dealing with our gentleman, I said, setting up somebody is so evil, but giving somebody the chance to change is better. So, and remember when I was also talking about trying to deal with toxins in your body. If it doesn't work, it's only when it doesn't work that you want to take the kidney out. So in the same way, when you are in a relationship and there is a problem, you may want to identify or help the person identify the source of the problem and to deal with it. If it works, we thank God. If it doesn't, then you move on. So the first thing that I talked about the plan is to plan. That is to give chances and to help to see if it can be corrected. Now down to psychological help and drug use and all that. You are right. But I think the main source of our problem today is that we live in the world where we live other people's expectations. And so we have expectations on TV where sex is supposed to last for 1 hour, 2 hours, which is not real in real life. And so I look at it and I feel like I'm a failure, so I have to do something, and it ends up affecting you. Okay, so you are so right. People are learning wrongly. We are trying to impress. We don't even know ourselves. We want to do this, we want to do that, and we end up even worse things. Aside the drug use, Daddy, I would want to also draw the attention of even the ladies. There is something called, the word exhibit. So we have exhibitionism, where you would want to expose part of your body, and it's a mental illness that is running in many of the ladies now.
Mental illness.
It's a mental illness. Anybody watching me, quote me by my words. because I'm a professional. I can't be online and be saying things that are not true. It's a paraphilic mental disorder.
Interesting.
Okay, so that you think that, oh, let me expose myself a bit so that men will see my beauty. Gradually, you are getting mad, but you don't know. Okay, let me take some aphrodisiac so that I can perform better. You are getting into sadism and what we call sadism, the opposite of sadism, to come as I talk. Masochism. You want to hurt somebody, and when the woman is crying and screaming, then you are happy. You think you're a man. Okay, continue. Gradually, you are getting a problem for yourself. So you are right. Let us not live the expectation of our time. Some ladies are beginning to develop stomach ulcers because they want their tummies to be flat. Because of a guy you are not eating. Meanwhile, the guy is somewhere eating tilapia. You are there. So many things are happening.
You are shaking the table. The table is moving.
Let me not talk much. You are so right. You are so right.
Okay, so thank you very much, Father Tony, for joining us today. Let's clap for Father Tony. I'm sure we'll meet and finish up with this breakup series very soon. Okay, so once again, we want to thank our sponsor, Sabama, that is the St. Bakita Mashaland Association, for sponsoring us. If you want to join the Mashalands, you can reach them on 020 20 26 711. I take it again, 020 20 26 711. Also want to acknowledge the Church Pastoral Council and the Youth Council for their unending support, and to our priest in charge, Father Hilary, for everything he has put in for this program to be a success. Let's clap for Father Hilary. Also want to thank the Bakita Media for everything. Bakita Media, Ayiko, Father's Boys, Ayiko. So to take us home today is no other person than DJ Free. So we meet again. I leave you in the hands of DJ Free.
She wanna roll and smoke one thing. I want to give her a diamond ring, but she say you're the girl's like mine. She never thinks you like the boom boom. Next time you're gonna take you to me. We go go home a boom boom. Hop on the yard, baby say boom boom. Say please, I got you. Shut up, let us see, take that. Say please, I got you. Shut up, let us see, take that. Say please, I got you. Shut up, let us see, take that. Say please, I got you. I any man no forget. When you go to go collect, go on.